Hey Bible lovers, I'm Tim Nichols and I'm here to bring you your Nichols Worth, and today from Thomas Nelson we're featuring the New King James single column reference Bible, and this is one of the most popular layouts that Thomas Nelson puts out. I don't have any other Nelson single columns laid out like this, but I do have a couple Zondervans from the Premier Collection that I will compare it to, but this is the most popular layout among the entire Premier Collection run, but this one has some significant differences, and I want to show them to you and I want to point them out to you. So anyhow, this has the 10.5 point font, has the 36 GSM premium European paper. So let's take a look real quick. Okay, this is the side column reference NASB from Zondervan in the Premier Collection, and this one for some odd reason is verse by verse all the way through. So this one probably isn't the best to compare it to, but you will notice it has about 1 inch of margin space. It's well out of the gutter. The more comparable layout is probably the NIV reference Bible side column, but what really makes it comparable also is the leather covers because they're very similar. So anyhow, when you look at this, this is a 10.5 point font. It is a paragraph format. It has your references on the side. It has your column. So now let's take a look at the star of the show here, the New King James single column reference Bible. It has the brown goatskin. I really like the stiffness of the brown goatskin. That is one thing that I really like about it. It has the same kind of liner as the NIV. They look very similar. Of course, they're made essentially by the same sister companies. Edge lined, really nice thick edge line, really nice double-sided satin ribbons. Thomas Nelson and Zondervan Premier Collection always get it right on their ribbons. So anyhow, when you get into the layout, here is where the big difference is. This is a smaller footprint. Let me show you. So you're getting probably about 1.5 inches at the top and 1 inch, so it's much smaller. Now when you get a smaller footprint, there's also going to be some sacrifices. Now what they did not sacrifice is font size. The font size is exactly the same. What you're going to lose here is you're going to lose margin space. See, there's hardly any margin space here where you got a big wide margin here. And also the gutter is where it suffers, and it's really noticeable in more of the reader format. See how that sneaks way down the gutter now? I mean, I guess over time that could train out, but see, this is like well out of the gutter. Even in the reader area, it's got that nice gutter space here. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and close this. It does have red accents, really nice. It is a beautiful layout. I do wish, here's what I wish they would have done. I wish this margin space here isn't super useful. So let's just go ahead and split it. Okay, so you take this, you move it in about that far, and that pulls this out of that gutter, and then you don't have that issue. But the art gilding is beautiful. The gilding itself is beautiful. Super well done. For this to be Chinese produced in the price range that it is, it's just absolutely amazing. Now, one thing people fuss about is people fuss about what mass production companies generally do with their ribbons, and I'll show you. This one, for example, it's glued at the top. See how it's just kind of funky? And the reason they glue it like that, while it looks funky there, it makes it super easy for you to lay it the way it's supposed to be laid in. See how it just kind of lays in there like that, and then you get that perfect little triangle like you're supposed to get. So that's the motive behind that. So anyhow, paragraph format, 10.5 point font. It does have a little bit of margin space. I wish they just went in and gotten rid of that and snuck it out. I love the New King James. I am in Ruth now in the New King James. And it has accent red, as I said a minute ago, a little bit of space after your title of the book, and subheadings, chapter numbers, and verse numbers are all in that accent red. And then one thing I really love about this one is that it is a black letter text. Red letter can be just a little complex sometimes. It's really hard to get it super consistent. So when you don't do it, that's a mistake that you don't have to deal with, and I think it was a good move on Thomas Nelson's part on this Bible. So now, once you get to the end, you will see a Concordance, 2-column, pretty decent size font. It's not huge, but it's not tiny like, say, a Skylar or something like that. And then it has your glossy maps. I could live without maps, and this is the reason. Okay, it's just, they're just kind of in the way. So when you're toward the end, it causes that to want to not lay as flat. I would just prefer to have the maps out of the way so that it can do like this does. And of course, you've still got this issue here with the edge lining, but it just tends to lay flatter to me without maps over time. So anyhow, I really like it. I really like that it has the full complement of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 raised hubs on the spine. I wish they'd stamp this in a little deeper because I do believe eventually that would wear off. It's going to wear off anyway, but it's a little less likely when it's stamped in. I also really like some of the markings on this. Check that out. I don't know what happened to the goat there, but that's a pretty neat little mark, and there's one right there too. So maybe he got beat up, or maybe he got in a fight at school, or whatever happened, but that goat had something happen to it, and I think it's pretty cool. Perimeter sewn, all the bells and whistles, in a small little nice footprint, hand size. The only sacrifice is the gutter. And you know what? It's probably a worthy sacrifice to have a text block of this size. So anyhow, there you have it. Keep calm. Jesus on this, your nickel's worth.